This is a video on tearing apart to clean a Mendoza Mex-Sar 22 long rifle. This is mine. I've taken the stock off, so yours may not look like this. I've taken mine off and I customized mine and re-stained it, so yours may look different than this stock, but the gun itself is the same. There is, as far as I know, no videos on YouTube that go over this. What I'm going to video now is a normal teardown for cleaning after shooting and then putting it back together. You can tear it apart farther than what I'm going to demonstrate, but if you get the springs pulled out, there is no documentation showing how to put it back. I had to actually email Mendoza in Mexico, and they were very good. They actually made a video for me just to show me how the parts go back in. So I do have that information, and maybe I'll do a video on that at a later time. This one is just a tear down, normal clean, and the way that I do it. So right or wrong, I don't know if I'll get some comments back on this or not. Somebody being angry because I do it wrong. But like I said, there's no other videos on this. So, and I think that there's plenty of people out there that have these that is, probably appreciate it. So, first thing is a safety check. It is on safe. I'm going to open the bolt. There is no rounds in here. And just to make sure, I'm going to pull the feeding tube out and make sure that there's no rounds in the feeding tube. And once again, visually, there's nothing in there, nothing coming up. So this is empty. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the stock screw. I use a coin because it doesn't mar up any of the bluing or anything else. There's a dime, or you can use whatever you want, but it fits right in there really nice. So that's what I use. It also works for the cocking handle. So we're going to take this out, and like most guns, most rifles, this will separate the stock from the action and barrel. So we are going to do that right now. Set that aside. So we have what we need to work on now. This back portion is spring loaded, so be very careful when you're doing this, that this once this pins out, that this doesn't go launching through across the room. They're usually loose enough, this pin, that if you put pressure on this back cap, you can push this pin out like so. And it just fell out. Now I've got to watch it, because if I release this cap, it is spring loaded, and this is your safety along with the two springs that come out. I'll set them there along with the pin. So here is the there's a bolt back here that, as you can see, doesn't come out. One thing I do is I take this cocking handle off first. Again, I use my coin so I don't mar anything up. Loosen it. And you can tell the difference between the cocking handle and the bolt that holds the stock screw. This one has the more knurling on it, and it's a fatter area to where you can grab on with your hand. So cocking handle. So now that we've got that out, there's nothing else holding the striker and the bolt in here, other than this lever right here has red on it, and this is the striker release lever, and you have to release the lever for these to come out the back. And there's your striker, and then the bolt itself, same thing, you got to release this and push it out. Okay, so this was sitting in there like so, and then this was on there like that. So at that point, unless you get into all these pins and springs that are in here, which I wouldn't recommend doing unless you had a severe problem and you wanted to get in here to really clean something or replace something. In fact, the manual doesn't even talk about taking any of this apart. This is where I made the mistake of, and I knocked these pins out thinking, hey, I took it apart, I can put it back. Then I let it sit for a couple of weeks and then came back to it, and then I couldn't remember how the springs went back. I contacted Mendoza in Mexico, and they were awesome they actually went on the assembly floor. They knew what I was looking for. They went and made a video with the assembler exactly showing me how to put the gun back together. They made a video for me. So if you have the same thoughts I did when it comes to, I didn't even think I was going to get a response back from Mexico, from Mendoza, and yet then they go turn around and make a video for me. Anyways, I'm not anybody special. I don't own a gun store. I'm not a gunsmith. I'm just your average Joe that happened to buy one of these. So I don't have any pull with them whatsoever, and yet they were still willing to send me and make that video for me. Pause it.
1.
Okay. We have it to this point, and I've laid out all the parts the way that they come out of the rifle. And I'm going to show you what I clean and what I don't, and what usually gets the dirtiest since I've owned it. The stock screw very rarely gets dirty, so I'm not even going to clean that this time. And actually all these are clean. I'm just going to do this for demonstration purposes. If you have a solvent, a spray solvent that is okay for guns, you can spray it down in here. There is really nothing to hurt. Just taking this apart is a pain to get back together because of the way that the springs lay on top of each other, things like that. If anybody has gone to that point and doesn't know how to put it back together, send me a note that you need to see that, because I do have information and I can show you how that goes back together. It's a little tricky. You have to have some tools that you kind of custom make just out of wire and stuff to go in there and grab some of the legs of the springs, and that's exactly what they use at the Mendoza factory. So I'm not going to do any more of that. One thing that I was going to tell you guys is I've been shooting lead tip bullets out of this, not copper clad, just lead tipped, and the fouling that happened inside my barrel was crazy. I've never seen it before. In fact, I tried to run this brush through it to clean the barrel before I even knew that there was that much fouling in there, and it went into about right here, and it seemed like right in this area is where the most of the fouling was on my rifle, and it wouldn't go any farther. In fact, it got stuck, and I had to go and set another rod through this other end and actually knock it out with a small hammer. Once I knocked it out, flakes of lead started coming out the barrel. So now it's clean. It might have been a lesson to me to start using some copper clad rounds. I don't know. It's just, it was packed in there crazy hard. So I don't know if you guys have a remedy for that other than changing the rounds. If there's a barrel spray, I don't know. I'm not that much into it. But so anyways, watch your barrels, because it does seem like this one has that problem. I'll set this aside.